Hello.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah. You are audible. A bit feeble, but it's audible.
Okay. Let me do one thing. I will just join with earphones. That will
Okay,
do a
okay.
proper
ठीक है,
audio.
ठीक है.
No. Hello.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah.
Much better now.
Fine.
So, were you present till the last session that we had, Aniket?
So I was present till the logistic regression. After that, I had conveyed Utkarsha regarding that I had to work on weekend also because of the client's requirement. So after that, I was not able to attend the lectures.
Okay,
But
okay.
but but I had continued to watch it on the YouTube. So I'm still with the class
Oh, I
as
see. I see. Okay, okay. Can you enable the your video? I
yes,
just
sure,
want
sure.
to. I'm not able to place.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay. Now I got it. So have you been following the class till what was the last session that we had? Unsupervised learning.
Yeah, so I have completed till the supervised part has been completed.
Okay.
So after that, I have not watched the videos. Supervised till the supervised, I have completed.
Okay. So try to finish the others also, the other
Yeah.
techniques also.
Yes,
Okay.
sure, sir.
So we'll start with the mocks.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So yeah, we have three subjects today.
Okay.
SQL, and we have Python, and
Python.
we
Yeah.
have statistics. I hope you are aware of the topics.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, fine. So we'll start with statistics, a couple of questions, and then move on. Okay.
Sure.
Tell me, what is the meaning of population and sample?
Okay. So population is the object which we are trying to get insights from, and the sample is the small space from the population on which we will do the inferential statistics so that we can infer about the population.
Okay. So what is the use of taking sample? Why can't we take the entire
The
population for our studies?
So in today's world, it's not feasible to do study on the entire population because population might be in the numbers of millions or billions. So it's not feasible
Okay.
technically. So that's why we choose sample to work on.
Okay. Good. So continuing with the population and sample, uh, what is the role of hypothesis testing in statistics?
Okay. So hypothesis testing is it's a technique which is used in the inferential statistics where we study on the sample, take the we study on the samples, and from the sample statistics we try to infer about the population parameters. So hypothesis testing helps in that. where we use different techniques like where we use different parameters like p-values or significance, level of significance to predict what is the correlation between the population and
I lost your voice. I'm not able to hear you.
okay. Am I audible now?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, so in the hypothesis testing, we use the null hypothesis, alternative hypothesis. We test the hypothesis, null hypothesis, alternate hypothesis, and then after doing this testing, we come to conclusion regarding the population from the sample.
Okay. So can you give an example of a hypothesis testing that we perform in from a machine learning perspective? Any technique, any one technique.
So for machine learning, if we consider the linear regression, then there we are using the t-test hypothesis testing, where where we compare the two continuous variables using the t statistics. So that is one of the hypothesis testing which we use in machine learning.
Okay. Okay, fine. Now, talking about data, what are the what do you call a good data from a statistical perspective? How should a data be
Okay,
for
yeah.
getting a good result?
From my experience of working on the different data sets during the phase of supervised machine learning, I come to conclusion that the good data is the data which have the minimum null values as possible, so that we should not able to conclude about null values, because in the end we are coming close to the accuracy, but we are not getting that accuracy by even concluding the null values. So it should have as much uh, less null values as possible. After that, the second thing about the good data is uh, even though sometimes there are not null values, but still in some places there is irrelevant information written. For example, if in the column of the age it should be integer, of course we know, but sometimes some irrelevant data like string or anything other than the age value, those are mentioned in those columns. So that is also not a sign of good data. Apart from that, good for good data, we can expect a bunch of I mean, the quantity of data also matters, because from the small amount of quantity of data we are not able to predict good in the machine learning. So quantity also matters. Also, with quantity, quality also matters for the data.
Okay. Uh, does distribution have any role to play?
Yes, sir. Of course. I mean, if the data has the normal distribution, then it is well and good for everyone, because every data scientist is trying to find the normal distribution pattern in the data. The main thing behind why we want normal distribution, because we know that within the first standard deviation there is almost 68.2% of data concentrated in that region. So that's why distribution plays a very important role.
Okay, good. So when we are talking of distribution, another important aspect of distribution is the height of the curve.
Yeah.
So what is that height known as?
It is known as I think it is known as kurtosis. Kurtosis.
Kurtosis. Okay. So how significant is kurtosis in the data?
We can predict from the data, like if higher is the height of the distribution, it eventually reduces the standard deviation of the data. So that is one of the significance in respect of standard deviations.
Okay. Can we say that kurtosis is related to bias?
I'm not sure about this, sir.
Okay. See, when we have a tall graph, it means that the variation is less,
Yes.
isn't it? So when the variation is less, it means that bias is more.
Okay.
Okay, because the
Understood.
relation between variance and bias is inverse. So if one is increasing, other decreases.
Okay, understood, sir.
Okay. So when you have a lot of variation, it means that it is an unbiased data. Okay, that is why we have a
Understood.
more of a we may get a normal distribution, but the height may not be that much.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Last question in statistics. Tell me something about the different types of sampling that we have in stats. Sampling techniques.
Okay, the first one is the random sampling, where we randomly picks objects from the population. Apart from that, apart from that, we can say the sampling which is related to the distribution of the data. Like if the data is normally distributed, then we also try to take the samples where there is a more concentration of data. So I think these two are the sampling techniques.
Okay. There are actually 4 different ways in which we can sample.
Okay.
Okay. One is a random sample that you rightly said. Then we have a systematic sampling. So systematic sampling means that I want every other record. No, that is called systematic.
Okay.
Then clustered sampling, and okay, so where we group data according to similarities and then take samples from there.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. We'll come to SQL now. What's your comfort level with SQL?
So I'm quite comfortable with SQL. I have tried multiple data sets.
Okay. Okay. Good. Good. Okay. Now, when we are dealing with tables and when we want to do data analysis, I think probably SQL is the best tool to use.
Yeah.
Now, what are the different types of languages that SQL has?
Okay. So, sir, please correct if I am wrong. The first one is DML. Then it's DDL,
Mhm.
and the third one I'm not actually getting. Uh,
Right. What is the meaning of DDL?
the full form I'm not recalling what is the full form of DDL, but it's like it's used for deleting or truncating the table or the rows.
DDL stands for data definition language.
Okay.
Okay. So that is where you create objects. Definition means
Okay. Okay.
creating things. Then we have DML, which is data manipulation language. That is where you
Mhm.
add or change data.
Update. Yes.
Okay. Or deletion or even select. So you have the 4 operations. Then we have
Okay.
DCL, data control language. So that is to give permissions for users on objects, whether they can have full access or read-only access.
Okay, sir. Understood.
Okay. What is the difference between a table and a view?
Okay. So we can create a view from a table, but we cannot. Whatever updates that we do in the view, those will be replicated in the table, I guess. But what we do in the table, that will not get replicated in the view.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. Okay. What is the use of joins in SQL?
So joins. There are many scenarios when the data is in the different tables. Like there is one type of data in one table, and the relational data is in another table. So to connect those two tables by the relation, we use joins.
Okay. What are the different types of joins that SQL has?
So the first one is the inner join, which connects the intersection between the two data. The second one is the outer join, which is the union of the two tables. The right join is the intersection in the right table. Sorry, the intersection and the union join of the right table. And the third one is the left join. So it is the vice versa of the right join.
Okay. Okay, fine. Okay. What is the use of a subquery, or what is a subquery?
Okay. So subquery, like if we are using a subquery, then from a particular if we are using a subquery for a particular table, then we are trying to retrieve some kind of conditional data from that table, and then we are using the query which will act on the data from the subquery. So it's like we are creating a mini table from the subquery, and then we are using our main query on the data which is there in the subquery.
So when a query is executing, which gets executed first? Let's say you have a query and a subquery. So what's the order of execution?
So firstly, the subquery will get executed, and then the query will get executed.
Okay. Okay, fine. Can you tell me what are Windows functions in SQL?
Yeah, so Windows function, the recently I have used one, that is the rank, which is the window function which we use to rank the rows. So that is the window function which I have used recently.
So from your
Dense rank.
experience, okay, so
Yeah.
from your experience of working with rank, what does that rank function do?
Dense rank, like it enumerates the rows, like it gives the index to the rows, and there are some more parameters which we can use in the rank function, like how many rows before and after we have to take from the particular row. Like if we are implementing the rank function on the second row, and we are also passing the parameter of 1 and 1, then it will also take the first row and the third row, the previous one and the succeeding one.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, hello Ankita. I just saw your logged in. Okay,
Good morning,
so
sir.
good morning. So let's go to the Python section, Aniket.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Tell me, what is a tuple in Python?
So tuple, it is like on the screen, it is represented with the that brackets, curly brackets, not curly brackets, those normal brackets, and
Round braces.
the one, yeah, and the function or the thing which we can do on the tuple, that we can like in tuple there are two objects are mentioned, then we can dissolve the couple by mentioning two different variables by executing equal sign, like a comma b is equal to in tuple 10 comma 20.
Okay. Are tuples, can they be edited if I want to change the value?
I think the objects in the tuple cannot be the tuples cannot be modified like the list,
Okay.
unlike the list.
Okay, fine. Tell me something about the difference between a data frame and a series.
So very basic difference that while using the Python, we usually load our data set in the form of a data frame, that the pd.df. pd.data frame is the function which we use to convert data into the data frame. But if we take a single column of the data frame, that can be represented as a series.
Okay, good. So can we alter the column name when we are creating a series?
Yes, sir, that can be possible.
Okay. Try it out and tell me if the column name can be changed. Okay. So,
Sorry, sir.
okay. No, try that operation, create a series,
Okay.
try to change the
Okay.
column name and check whether it is getting changed or not.
Okay, sure.
How is, what is a JSON file?
No, sir, I don't have idea.
Have you worked on JSON?
No, sir.
No, input file as JSON, never?
No.
Okay, okay. Okay, tell me what is a dictionary?
Dictionary is it is also it's like it's also the form of data type. In the dictionary, there is the pair of key and value, where key represents the index of the object, and value is the value of object. So the pairwise relation can be put into the dictionary.
Can dictionary have the same key repeating? For example, first name comes as the first column and first name comes as, let's say, the fifth key. So can I have like this?
Not sure, sir.
Okay, fine. One last question. How will you visualize data in Python?
Sorry, sir. Data in Python.
Yeah, how will you visualize the data?
Using the two libraries. The one is the matplotlib and the second is the Seaborn.
Okay. So what difference do you see between these two libraries?
As per my experience, the Seaborn is the advanced version of matplotlib because it provides multiple arguments in the same function, and it is more dynamic as compared to the matplotlib.
Okay. Okay, fine. So thanks, Aniket. Your SQL area is a bit on the gray side, so you need to work on that. Otherwise, other things are okay.
Yes, sir. I think for the SQL, I am not. I mean, I have tried datasets on that. I have tried datasets, so I think that my theoretical knowledge is quite weak in terms of SQL.
Yeah. So
But
sometimes,
apart from, yeah. Yes, sir.
correct. So, see, sometimes the theory part is good. The practical part is lacking. Sometimes it's the other way around. Okay, but ensure that you understand these basic concepts also. Okay.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Thanks, Aniket.
Okay, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
see you.
Yeah. Bye.
You can log off. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Bye.
Bye. Hello, Ankita.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How's your health now?
Yeah, feeling better.
Good, good. So are you aware of today's mocks?
Yes, sir.
Okay, lovely. So we will start with the statistics part.
Okay.
Then we have SQL and Python. Okay, these are the
Yes,
three
sir.
areas. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, let's start with statistics. What is the meaning of data distribution?
Data distribution is when the data points are distributed in certain ways.
Can you just elaborate that? Maybe with an example?
Um, I'm not sure. Actually, my stats is little weak.
Okay. Fine. What is the use of hypothesis testing?
Hypothesis testing. It hypothesis testing is claim-based testing, and we have two hypothesis testing: null hypothesis, and the second one it is the alternative hypothesis, and it is based on the alpha value, the coefficient level of significance, which is 0.05, and like, for null hypothesis, if p value it is greater than the 0.05, we can accept the null hypothesis, and if it is less than 0.05, we reject null hypothesis.
Okay. So can you give me one example where you have used hypothesis testing in machine learning? The concept that you just told, rejecting or not rejecting. So any one example?
Not sure.
Have you done linear regression, logistic regression?
Yes.
Okay. EDA?
Yes, EDA part, yeah.
So in all these three, there are a lot of places where you can use the hypothesis testing concept. Okay. For example, I want for logistic regression, let's say I have a categorical feature and I want to test the significance. Okay. For example, I'm predicting whether a person will leave the company or not. Okay. Employee attrition. And I have a variable called gender. So gender is male, female. So is gender significant in predicting churn, not churn, attrition? Okay. So I have category versus category.
Okay.
Okay. So I use the chi-square test to determine whether gender is significant or not. So this is one example. So you have a lot of such examples to, check or rather use the concept of hypothesis. Anyway, what are quartiles?
Quartiles.
When did you last read about statistics?
The basics point actually stats have not I didn't get much time to cover up. Like some points I have like cover up, like hypothesis testing, standard deviation, center limit theorem, and all those outliner, inliners, and
Okay, so from the term quartiles, what can you infer? The word quarter.
a quarter of the circle.
So what does that term mean, quarter? It represents what number?
Yeah, so, it is divided into dividing the data into a set
How many
of
sets?
four, one by four.
That's all.
Like,
that is a quartile.
yeah.
Okay. So your data gets divided into 4 equal parts. Okay. So that is the quartile, the concept of quartiles. So why do we need quartiles in my analysis?
To calculate the Q1 and Q3.
What are they?
It is the lower quartiles and lower upper quartiles.
Okay. It is mainly used to find the distribution of data. Okay. You really need to concentrate on your statistics.
Yes, sir.
Just give me a minute. Okay. What is the need for doing a data sampling?
Data sampling. Data sampling, it is used to unbiased or random subset of individual observation, like sampling data. Like if we have a population, for observation of population, we have the data sampling.
Okay. Do you know what are the different types of samplings that we can do? Let us say I want to generate marks of 50 students. So what kind of a sampling will I use?
So we have a random sampling. So data, it will be distributed randomly, that we can have a random sampling. And next we have a cluster sampling. We'll have a groups divided.
Okay, fine, fair enough. Things are slowly coming to you now. No?
Yeah, so my stats, actually, it is it's bit.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
No problems. Okay, one last question. What is the difference between sigma and X bar? If I say that the sigma is 10 and if I say X bar is 10, what are these two things?
Sigma. It is a mean X bar.
Of mean of what? You are right, it is the mean, but it is the mean of what?
mean of mean of sigma. So,
Mean of the first
Sigma.
question that I asked you. It is the mean of the population.
okay.
What is X bar?
Sample of set of
Correct.
sample.
It is the mean of the sample.
Sample.
Okay, good. Okay, let's come to the SQL bit. How's your SQL?
Yes, sir.
How's your SQL? Did you practice?
Your voice is not audible.
How's your SQL?
Yeah, SQL. Yes, I have practiced SQL because every day I'm using SQL itself.
Okay. Fine,
Yeah.
fine. Okay. Tell me, what is the difference between a table and a view?
Table in a view, table will have a set of records, rows and columns that a table will contain. Like if you have a user table, so that will have a like various types of data. User column will, can have a user ID, username, password, and all those things will a table will have. And view can be when we like we'll do a certain query to get a particular data, so we can have that in a view. So if we want to instant like it can be like a filter if you want an instant output.
Can I edit a view? That is, can I
Yes.
change the record in a view?
No. No.
Okay.
In table, we can update the data or alter anything, but in view, it will be fixed.
Okay. What are the two ways in which I can add a new row in a table? That is, using the insert statement, I can add a record, right?
Yes, insert.
So there are two different ways in which I can use the insert statement. What are they? Can you tell me?
Two different ways. There's a if we are using a software, we have a insert data also, the option, or we can query the ways. Yes, yes.
So let's say that I have 5 columns in a table. Okay.
Yes.
So there are usually two ways that I can add a record into this table. Either I can give values for all the columns. That is one way, that is insert into table values.
Yes.
The other way is I can restrict giving all the values to all the columns. So that means I want only the selected columns, other columns will be null.
Okay.
So insert into table, and within bracket I can give which
we can give the values and the column names.
Okay. So these are the two ways in which I can add. Tell me something about constraints.
Constraints. It's a specific rule for the data in table. It is used for that. And we have 5 types of constraints like not null, null, unique, primary foreign key. So those are the constraints. Like primary key, when we want to join two tables, so we can give the ID, a customer ID, or here we have a customer ID, so we can give them a primary key constraints.
Okay.
And not null also, not null if the values that we don't want null, or null also we can give. So those are the constraints that is used while creating the tables. So the column names so we can use them.
Okay. What is a primary key?
Primary key, as I've said, like for joining what we can say, it's you key we give, like in one table we have a customer ID, and in other table we have a cust ID. So for customer ID we can give a primary key that will be the ID, and that ID we can use for joining.
Okay, but okay, that is one use of primary key. But what is the main purpose of a primary key? Take an example of let's say employee table. Okay, so you are an employee, I'm an employee, so there are 10 different employees, and I am specifying primary key as sorry, employee ID as a primary key. So why should I use employee ID as a primary key?
Because that's an employer ID. We can that is a unique ID.
Right. So what is the meaning of unique?
Unique ID means that employee will have a unique ID. It can be a like what we can say, employee ID or anything. So that is the unique ID of that person.
So unique means what?
Unique means for example, if I give the example of orders, the order 1 and order 2, so that will be the unique. The order 1 will be the 1, that is the order ID, and order 2 will be the 2, that is the unique. So if I want to search by order ID, so we can search by where the order ID it is 1, and that will give me the record only for that order.
So in simple terms, we can we say that they are non-repeating entities?
Yes.
So that is what is the main purpose of primary key, that the column in which it is created, that cannot have duplicate values.
Yes.
Duplicates and nulls. Okay. Okay. One last question. What is the meaning of the search condition like? What is it used for?
Like we can use for example, if I want to fetch a particular like for first name, for example, I want Ankita, or only for Ankita or Aniket, or all those starting with AN. So what I'll do, where and in inverted comma AN. So that will fetch all the first name that will have the starting with AN.
Okay. So in short, can I refer to the like statement as a pattern matcher?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. So coming to Python. What is the difference between a character and a string in Python?
Character and a string. Character, a string, it is set of sentences like hello world. That is a string, and character can be a one like A, B.
Okay. So when we have a data type,
Hmm.
does Python differentiate between one character versus a group of characters? For example, if I have a data type, if I have a variable called name, okay, and I assign a value A to it, okay, there is only one character. And I have a data type called, let's say, name2, and it has ABC. Okay. So will the data type be different or will it be the same? Because one is a character, one is a string.
I think so the data type will be different.
Once again, let me write it here so that is my one second, is my screen visible to you?
Yes.
Okay, so I have a data type called name1 and I assign the value A.
Yes.
Then I have another variable called name2 and I have Ankita.
Yes.
Okay, now what is the data type of name1 and name2?
So data type for A, it will be string, and if I give like, I think so both will be the string.
Correct.
Yeah.
Both will be
Because
string in Python.
both will be the string. Yes.
Yeah, because Python does not differentiate between a string and a character.
String and a
Everything is
character.
treated as a character, as a string. Okay. Tell me something about a dictionary.
A dictionary will have a set of keys and values, and like while indexing, we can use the keys if you want to fetch the data. Yeah.
Can a key have only one value or can a key have multiple values?
Keys can be repeated.
No, not keys. Every key has a value, isn't it?
Yes.
So can one key have multiple values?
A dictionary can have a list or a tuple mix also, actually. So yeah, I think so, yes.
Okay. Okay. Tell me something about NumPy, the use of NumPy.
NumPy is a like arithmetic operation we are using NumPy.
Yep.
Yeah, NP. So it is it is used while working on array or algebraic calculations. So
Right.
we use NumPy.
Okay. Okay. Tell me what is a lambda function?
Lambda function, it is a anonymous function that we can use like for example, yeah, for example, I want to do a multiplication of two variables. So what I'll like lambda a comma b and a colon and a into b, and we can give the values next.
Okay.
So how is it different from a regular Python function?
It can be in one line, lambda function. And for other function, we have to set of lines we need to.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, one last question. How do you read files from Python?
Reading a file, we can like CSV files we can read, or any other files using read underscore CSV.
Okay, that is a CSV file.
Hmm.
If I have to read a text file or a PDF.
So syntax, it is
No, I don't want the syntax. See, when I have delimited files, then I can use the libraries which come in the pandas library. But when I want to read files in general, okay, the files can be anything. It can be delimited file, it can be free form text. Then I can use the OS level read operation. Okay, that is supported by every programming language. Okay, where I specify what is the file name, what is the mode in which I want to read the file. So these are also supported in Python. Okay. Okay, that's it from my side. Thanks, Anita. Anything you want to ask?
I'll work on the stats. That's my I need to work on that.
Yes.
But yes,
You,
like Python and SQL, I'm like daily practicing in my job field, so that's
okay. Yeah, you need to just work on your stats.
yeah,
Okay,
stats.
otherwise.
I'll work on that on it.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
sure.
Okay. So
Yeah,
thanks, Ankita. Take
thank
care.
you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Hello, Kamlesh. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Kamlesh, can you please turn on your camera?
Sir, I am audible, sir.
Yes. There you are. So I think you also missed a lot of these sessions, isn't it? Or you're not?
I have said the pressure that I am on site, so I am on YouTube.
Acha, you watch it after the class.
Yes, sir.
Okay. But were you coming to the class?
I have come for 2-3 times only.
Yeah, I remember seeing you. So that's
Yes,
why I just wanted to recollect the faces. Okay, anyway, so nice to see you all. So you are aware of today's session, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we have 3 mocks, statistics, SQL, and Python.
Okay.
So we'll start with statistics first. Tell me, what are the different types of sampling that we can do in stats?
Sampling, we can random sampling and normal sampling, just like we assign something.
We assign something.
Yes.
When you assign something, is that a sampling?
Means in Python, suppose in random sampling, it takes randomly any data from the population. But when we assign, suppose 1 to 3 equals to 0.2, so next time it will take only that data from the population.
Okay. Okay, then anything, any other techniques?
No, sir. I have only read about it.
Okay, okay, fine. What is the meaning of quartiles?
Quartiles.
Hmm. No?
No, sir. I can't remember it.
Okay. Okay, no problems. Now, when you are looking at data to do an analysis, what are the different parameters that you will check to ensure that the data is having a good quality?
Okay, so is this from machine learning, data cleaning?
No,
and
from
all?
an analysis perspective.
Okay. So first of all, we will check the given conditions. What are the given
conditions?
Yes. Suppose I am suppose in hypothesis testing, we have given some conditions, so we have to analyze that which has to be set in HO and HA, null hypothesis, alternative hypothesis.
Okay.
That analysis can be done, or calculation perspective. Then after calculation, where to imply the result? Is it in population or is it in sample?
Okay, fine. Can you tell me one example where I can use the concept of mode in my data analysis?
Okay. So suppose in a mobile manufacturing industry, there are many models of mobiles. So by using mode, we can analyze which type of model is used more number of times by using mode. Is that right?
Okay. Okay, so that is we can get a count of the maximum.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is one use. Any other use from a data analysis perspective?
Mode can be used only by sorting. So we have to first of all sort the data, then implies the mode.
We can also use it to impute missing values, isn't it?
Okay.
If a particular category is missing, so one way to impute is find out the mode and use that value to impute the missing values.
Okay.
Okay, just one last question. What do you mean by the term weighted average?
Okay, weighted average. Hmm. Suppose in examination, in final exam, so we have some weightage of half yearly, isn't it? So we take weightage of 30% from half yearly and 70% from final exam. So the 30% weightage means we have taking 30% from that exam and implying in the final result.
Right. So how is it? So what is there any benefit of taking a weighted average for our analysis?
We for the accuracy of our result.
Okay. Yeah. See, if we take the regular average, we get equal weightages. So sometimes it is not desirable to take, or rather weigh every value in the same proportion.
Okay.
So that may lead to some kind of biasness. So we can avoid it by taking specific weights, specific values. So that way we can get a more precise calculated weight rather than taking an average. Okay, good. Okay, that's it from statistics. So we'll quickly go to the SQL part. What is the meaning of the term DML in SQL?
Data manipulation language.
Okay, so what happens in DML?
We can edit the table.
Is that all?
We can manipulate it by using insert, delete, alter, manipulating it. Yes.
Okay. So we can add records to a table.
Yes, sir.
We can change records.
Yes.
And we can delete records.
Yes.
Anything else that we can do apart from these three?
We can add columns also.
But that is not that is not dealing with the data. It is with the structure of the table.
Okay. Oh.
We can also select the data.
We can select the data. We can count the data.
So these are the 4 actions that we have in DML: insert, update, delete, and select.
Yes, sir.
What is the difference between a trigger and a stored procedure?
Trigger and stored procedure. Okay. So in stored procedure, suppose we have created database, then in database we have created number of tables and we have inserted some values. That will be the procedure, our stored procedure. I think so.
See, procedures and triggers, they are objects that reside in a database, which are pre-compiled SQL statements. Okay. The difference is procedures have to be executed manually, either within the database or from external sources. Okay, I can have a front-end application. Triggers are executed automatically. So when something happens, well, for example, an event happens, a trigger can be automatically fired.
Okay, so in stored procedure, we have to do it by
Procedure
manually.
has to be manually called.
Okay.
Okay, it cannot be executed automatically. You can execute the procedure at a specific time, but it has to be triggered manually.
Okay.
Okay, unless you call it, it won't run. Okay. What is the meaning of the term joining tables? What is the use of it?
Joining table, suppose for intersection union purpose.
Okay.
Yes. There are inner join, outer join.
So why should we join?
For comparison. For comparison purpose. Suppose in inner join, we take it as an intersection. So suppose we have two tables. First is for admission and second is for student details, for example. So what is the common in both the tables? So we use inner join in that.
Okay. So what are we are not doing any comparison here.
We are extracting details which we required from both the tables.
We are extracting data based on a common key.
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? So it is not a comparison. It is finding the common element and only those records that match the common condition, we extract only those information. So
Yes,
that
sir.
is called as the inner join.
Yes.
That's the default join. Okay. Now, what is the criteria for joins?
Primary key and foreign key should be there for
Okay.
extracting the data.
Okay, fine. Can you, what is the difference between using a group by and an order by?
Okay, so order by is used for descending and ascending purpose, and group by is used for grouping it by grouping it by columns. For example, in gender, we group it by male and female. Okay, that's the difference.
So when I'm doing a grouping, what am I actually performing? What action am I actually doing?
Okay, sir. So suppose we want some data regarding data on male and female and their count, and how many students have taken admission there. So we have grouped by male and female. So we will get the data accordingly.
Okay, so you said we will be doing a count, right?
Yes, sir.
So that count comes under what is it called?
What is it called? I didn't get it.
It is an aggregation.
Okay. Okay. Aggregation.
So,
yes, sir.
So when you are doing a group by, so the action that you're performing is an aggregation.
Yes, sir.
So you take a certain category, and for that category, what aggregation can I do? So it is a sum, it is an average, it is a total. I mean, sorry, not total, minimum, maximum, count. So these are the different aggregations that you can perform on that group.
Yes.
Okay. How many? Just one last question. What is a subquery?
Okay, subquery. we write we write query in query.
Query in a query. Okay.
Yes, sir.
What is that query in a query? How do you do that?
By using parentheses.
Okay, good. So which is a better option, whether to use a subquery or whether to use joins? What do you think?
The joins will be better, I think.
Joins will be better. Okay. See, both can be used. Ideally, joins definitely give us it is much faster.
Yes.
But there are situations where I cannot use the join to get the right information. For example, if I have to find out get me all the details of the lowest order. Okay, I have an order detail. So which order has the least order amount? So when I want these kind of information, I definitely cannot use a join. So in that case, I can use the subqueries to return. Okay, fine. Okay, that's it from SQL. We'll quickly wrap up the Python bit. Have you used exceptions in Python? Exception handling?
No, sir.
Okay. What is a list?
List. We store some data, some objects in list by using square bracket.
Okay.
And it is mutable, so we can edit it.
Okay. So what kind of data can be stored in a list?
It can be string also, or numbers also.
So can I have string and numbers?
Yes, sir. We can.
Okay. Have you used this function, the zip function?
Zip function.
Zip,
No,
ZIP. It's a very useful tool to do analysis and a lot of other things. What is the use of the zip function?
Okay, so I didn't use it. So I get to know from you right now.
Okay, zip function. See, when you have, let's say that you are a stockbroker, okay, and you are getting information like this. So this is stock 1, this is stock 2, and this is stock 3. Okay, and then I have price 1, price 2, and price 3. Okay, and then I have quantity 1, quantity 2, and quantity 3. Okay, so I have the details as 3 different lists. Okay, but what I want is I want all the information of stock 1, all the information of stock 2, all the information of stock 3. So that means my data should be something like this: stock 1, price 1, and quantity 1. Stock 2, price 2, and quantity 2. Okay, so I'm getting a tuple. So how do I convert this, the 3 lists, into a record like this? So this is done by the zip function.
Okay.
Clear?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. What is the difference between, I won't say difference. Now, a list can take duplicate values, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
The same value can be repeated multiple times.
Yes, sir.
Now, suppose I I want a list where I want to remove all the duplicate values and make it into a unique list. So what is the easiest way to do it?
By using unique.
By using unique.
Yes, sir.
Is there a property called unique for a list?
I have done it somewhere.
Okay.
We have used dot. We have used somewhere by using dot unique and taking list.
Okay. Can you think of any other method?
We can delete duplicates. There is some code for it.
See, you can convert the list into a set.
Yes.
Okay, so set is an object
Sets
that
of
takes
sets
only a
unique values.
unique value. So the easiest way to do that is convert it into a set and then reconvert it back into a list.
Yes.
Okay. Let's say that I have, it's my, once again, I think I stopped share. Now I'm checking for two strings. Okay, I'm doing a string comparison and I'm checking Kamlesh equals Kamlesh and this returns false. Okay, I'm checking for two strings, or rather I can say name equals Kamlesh and this returns false. Okay. So what could be the reason? And here I'm checking Kamlesh equals, sorry. Okay, I'm doing this comparison. I'm creating a variable called name. Then I'm checking whether this name contains the string Kamlesh, yes or no. And this returns a false. So why does this condition or this comparison return false?
Okay. True or false is used for only 0 and 1 only. For binary purpose. I don't know. It will work on string.
No, I can do this comparison, isn't it? If name equals Kamlesh.
Okay. False.
So true means if the name is matching the string, this one. Okay. If it is false, it means that the two strings are not matching.
Not matching, yes.
So what I'm doing here is, in the check, I'm assuming that there is some value. I assume it is Kamlesh. But this condition returns false. That means this condition is not matching the two strings. So can you think of a reason why these two strings are not matching?
Case sensitive.
Okay, very good. One is a case sensitive. The strings can have uppercase, lowercase.
Yes.
Yes, that is one. Any other?
Spaces.
Good. It can contain spaces. So here, if I write capital K, and if I have a space here, so this will return false.
False, yes.
Okay, good. Okay, one last question. Have you used object-oriented programming?
Object-oriented programming. Can you give an example?
That is using class. So class my data. Have you used this?
No, sir. Class my
Okay.
data.
Okay, fine. Okay, no issues. What is the use of NumPy?
NumPy for statistic calculation.
Okay.
Where we can get the from that library we can get statistics.
Okay.
And for arithmetic.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Okay. Yeah, that's it. I'm done. Thanks, Kamlesh, for your time. You just need to brush up on a couple of things.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so whenever you get time, do spend brushing up all the concepts, and also do the hands-on. Okay, if hands-on is there, then you will remember all these things properly.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so thanks, Kamlesh.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
Sir, my session was decided on 10, but I came in 9:45. Is it right? All right.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.
Hello.
Hello, Keshav.
Hey, hi, good morning, sir.
Good morning. So today we have our mock session.
Yes, sir.
So I think last class you missed, isn't it? On
Yeah,
unsupervised
I
learning?
missed. Yes, I missed few classes because
Okay.
of office work.
Okay, okay. Okay, so today we have mocks on statistics, SQL, and Python.
Okay, stats. I am like down. Like I am not good in stats.
Okay,
Python and SQL, I can.
okay, but we need to stick to the syllabus that we have been given. Okay,
Okay,
so we'll start with stats, just some basic stuff.
stats. I'll be like blank. Okay, I'll try to answer it out.
Okay. What is sigma and x bar signify in stats?
Sigma defines sigma and x bar, right? X bar and standard deviation and variance. X bar is si- X bar is our standard deviation and sigma is a variance.
Okay. Variance of what?
Um, stats. Stats. No, sir. I won't be able to answer variance.
Okay. What is, so when I say for analysis, I need a good data. So what are some of the properties of good data?
Properties of good data are that there are no all the data are unique, like data set is unique. There are no blanks involved in it. Repetitions can be there, but for a data set, garbage values cannot be considered. Then validations should be there, like for the checking. Yeah, these all are the points. Basically, if null values are there, then data will be like not good for use.
Okay.
We have to like purify each column. We have to fill that values and check every points on that.
Okay. Okay. Now, one of the important steps of data analysis is a technique called hypothesis testing. So why should I do hypothesis testing?
Yeah. So, stats stats I won't be like able to give proper answers. Stats I'm uncomfortable.
Okay. I'm just touching only the main
Basics, yeah. Yeah, but stats I'm like uncomfortable. Like I need to like study more on stats.
Okay.
Stats I have like
Take a so let's try 2 more questions since I have to finish those 5 questions.
Okay.
What are sampling techniques? Or I should say, let me rephrase the question. What is data sampling?
Data sampling is like we have a big set of data. So getting some particular like suppose we have to analyze something on medical or a world population or India's population, then we will put some details related like mm, mm, sampling data means like putting collection. So no, I won't. Stats won't be. I won't be able to guess stats. Not good.
Okay. ठीक है. Just one more question. Mm. I'm just trying to make it as simple as possible.
It's fine, sir. You can like say stats. Like I know stats is a weak point in my thing. So
Mhm. Okay. Between mean and median, which is a more stable measure?
median.
Okay. Why is that?
Mean will give us the mean can be having an issue with an outlier. Like whenever an outlier comes, mean can vary, but in median it won't.
Okay. Okay. So that means you are not forgotten statistics. You remember things.
Few of it.
Hello, Komal. Good morning.
Yeah, Komal.
Hello, sir. Very good morning. Hi,
Komal,
Keshav.
can you
Good
please
morning.
turn on the camera?
Yeah, sure.
So since you are there, so I'll finish both the mocks simultaneously.
Yeah, I hope I'm visible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Komal, you're aware of today's mocks, isn't it?
Yes, sir. I'm aware about today's mocks.
Okay, so we have we have statistics, SQL and Python. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll start with the stats bit first.
Okay.
What is mu and sigma in statistics?
So mu is ideally stands for mean and sigma stands for standard deviation. Um
Of what?
so mean of what? Sir, of your sample or whatever data you want to perform the hypothesis testing on.
Is it sample or is it population?
It is the sample, sir. We cannot perform anything on population. That depends again on conditions. Like sample is the best representative of population. So let's take an example. In population, we have 1,000 data. Data number of rows are 1,000. So sample will be the best representative of that population.
Okay, so if mu represents the mean of the sample, what is X bar?
Okay, no, sir. X bar represents the mean of the sample and mu represents the mean of the population, the complete data.
Okay. What is sigma?
So it denotes standard deviation.
Of?
Standard deviation of population, not the mean.
Okay. What are quartiles?
Quartiles, sir, let's take we have 100% data, we have 100. So first 25 number of rows will be the quartile 1. Second 25 rows will be the quartile 2, or we can also call it as a median, the middle quartile. The third quartile will be from 50 to 75, and the last quartile Q4 will be from 75 to 100% of that data.
So if I have to define quartiles, what will you answer?
So the complete data divided by 4 parts, like
Correct. Data divided into 4
4
parts.
parts.
Okay, fine. So what is the use of dividing the data like this? If I am distributing the data into 4 parts like this, so what am I going to achieve?
Okay. Sir, instead of working on the complete data at once, what we can do is we can distribute the data evenly in 4 parts. So let's take an example. If I want to check the distribution of my data, or if I want to calculate my accurate means, so there might be the cases where we can get some outliers in the data. So let's take, if I take the mean of quartile 1, I'll compare it with rest, like the mean of quartile 2, quartile 3, and quartile 4. And if I take the combined mean of all four, it will give me more accurate values, rather than taking the overall values mean.
So the main purpose is to find distribution of data.
Distribution,
How
yeah.
is my data distributed? On which
Yeah.
side I have more concentration of the data? Is it
Mhm.
evenly distributed or is it skewed?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. What is the use of measuring the height of the data? Or not the height of data, height of the distribution of data. What is the height called? When I'm
Okay, so
distributing, yeah,
the in that curve, the middle center part, right?
yes,
The
the height.
height. It is called as s- central tendency. Yes.
No, central tendency is mean.
Yeah. Height.
Keshav, do you recall the height of a distribution?
No, sir.
It is called kurtosis.
Yeah, kurtosis.
So what is the use of measuring kurtosis? Do you recall?
Measuring the kurtosis.
It is mainly used to check the variation in your data. Okay, tall graph means less variation. Small peak means a lot of variation. So you need to choose a data which does not have too much of peak or less peak. Okay, that is called the bias variance trade-off. So you need to draw that boundary line so that you get a good data.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sir, again, the kurtosis also helps us to understand whether the data is, I mean, heavily tailed or lightly tailed, or how it is related to the normal distribution as well, like
Yeah,
depending on.
it
Yeah.
will be normally distributed, no problems.
Yeah.
Okay, but it may not have the right kind of variation. Okay, you may have a biased data, but still data can be normally distributed. Okay. How is chi-square different from ANOVA?
Okay. Sir, so ideally we use chi-square when we have all the categorical variables in our data, and ANOVA is used when we have at least one categorical and rest of the variables are continuous, like the dependent variables what we have should be continuous in ANOVA.
Okay,
Then
good.
chi-square more differences.
So in an ANOVA, what are we actually trying to prove?
Okay. In ANOVA, we try to check if there is any significance difference within the groups what we have created. Like which group have more dependency or which group is highly independent with respect to each other.
Okay.
So
Which measure is used for that to check the difference?
ANOVA.
It is the mean.
Mean,
Okay,
yeah.
So what we are doing here is so this comes under the n sample test. Okay, chi-square and ANOVA come under the n sample hypothesis testing. So in the ANOVA, we check whether all the groups, they have similar means, or are there at least one group which is different. Okay, so here we have the category on one side and we have a number on the other side. Whereas in a chi-square, both the variables that we're checking is a category. So category versus category. Okay, just one last question. What is a t-test?
Okay. Sir, t-test is used ideally when we have normal distribution of data. So it is, I remember the formula, like t-test is calculated mean something
That's okay.
mean
I don't
minus
want the
sigma.
formula. Just t distribution. And how is it different from a z test? See, the main difference between these two is the sample size. Okay.
Yeah, the number of samples are less than 30 and number of samples greater than 30, we will be using z-test.
So which is, when is t used?
Like when we have less number of samples.
Okay.
Less than 30.
Less than 30, yeah.
Okay. 30 or more, we call that as
We
a
will give,
z
yeah,
test.
z-test, yeah.
Okay, so that completes stats. So let's go to SQL. Keshav. What is the difference between using a delete command and a truncate command?
So the delete command, when we use a delete command, it is deleted and both the command deletes the data from the DB. But when we use truncate command, we cannot roll back that deletion.
Okay. That is one. Any other?
That's it.
Komal?
Sir, delete will delete the headers as well if we use the delete, and truncate will only delete the data under the headers in the SQL table.
What do you mean by headers?
The keys we can say. I mean,
Keys.
headers. No, not the keys actually.
Table header fields. you're talking
Table.
about?
The name of the columns will also be deleted. The table will completely be blank if we use delete command, and if we use truncate, only the data under those particular headers will be deleted. The rows will be deleted ideally.
So if I'm deleting columns, that means the structure itself is gone, isn't it?
Yeah.
But that is done by the drop statement.
Okay.
See the difference, Keshav, you are right. Delete will delete the records from the table. Truncate will also delete the records from the table. Okay, so in a
So
delete state,
we can select particular rows what we want to delete, and truncate will delete the complete data.
correct. So in the delete
Yeah.
statement, you can specify conditions.
Hmm.
Okay, delete from table where,
Where
whereas in a truncate, you cannot give conditions. Okay, it will work on the entire table. And the third difference is there is something called as logging, transaction log or T-log. So delete statement, it logs the information, whereas truncate does not log the information. Okay. Second, Keshav, what is the use, what is the difference between the in operator and the between operator?
So these operators are used when we have a range, like when we have to pick some range. So the in operator will work as, suppose we have a range of 1 to 100, and we are picking some value. We are checking this value is present or not. So the numbers present between, we'll use in operator, where we have 5, where we have to check that 5 is present in that number or not, or 1 to 10. Whereas in between, we'll be having that limit, like 100 to 105. So that will be the range, and that in that range will be used. It will be used as a in between.
Okay. So does between operator inclusive of the numbers, or does it ignore the borders or the limits?
It ignores the borders.
It ignores.
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes. It takes the values between those borders.
So if I take 100 to 105, my search will do 101 to 104. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
It is going to do from 100 to 105. Okay, it is inclusive of the limits. Okay. Komal,
Yes, sir.
how do you do wildcard search in SQL?
Wildcard search.
Hmm.
Okay. So I mean, it can be used with like operator. So like, I mean, it's used, which we can also use in where clause when we give where clause. So after that we can use like operator. Like let's say if I want to check, I have a table which have student marks, but if those two are similar, so what I'll write the condition like where so and so column like and the name or whatever I want to represent in my table. Like,
Okay. Okay. Good.
yeah.
So there are, what are the different variations that I can use with like?
Like we can use multiple operators as well, like multiplication, then uh, um, does not equal to percentile mode.
No, just using the like. One second, let
Okay.
me share the screen.
You are asking how we search the values in like?
Yeah, so I have the like operator here.
Okay.
So what are the variations that I can use in like,
So the
or
first,
let's take a very simple example. I want to search name.
Mhm.
Okay, so search for a name. And I want to use the like operator. So what are the variations that I can use?
so
Okay, so sir, like percentile, the whatever name you want to search, again the percentile symbol. Yeah, the
Like
percentile.
this?
It should be in quotes.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. So what it will do, it will whatever the instead of name, whatever we write there, it
Hmm.
will give all the records with that particular symbol, like with A.
Okay,
Um,
so this is one.
yeah.
the-
Second one, like something like underscore and then the name or whatever the characters you want, underscore and the string.
Okay, and
So it will whatever the string is followed by underscore A, it will give all the records for those.
sorry, come again.
Uh,
Underscore is
so
what?
sir, it whatever the let's say if my name is uh, ending with A, so whatever names will be ending with A will be enlisted in our output if we write that underscore A.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
So how do I know that this is ending with A?
so the variations will be, so the percentage symbol states that we are continuing it. So if we write S percentage or A percentage,
Hmm.
it will states that starting with alphabet A
Hmm.
and ending with any the first letter should be A, and it should end, it can take any values. So all
Okay.
those values will be printed.
Okay.
This is one.
Okay.
Second is what Komal said initially, percentage A, percentage it will
Okay.
be taking
Hmm.
any values for that particular column which has A in it, because we
Okay.
have not defined the characters at what length we want that character A should be present. That length can be determined using that underscore value. Like if we want 5 characters after that A should be there, then we can define percentage underscore 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 5 times, then A. It will give all those, excuse me, 1 second.
Okay. Okay, fine, fair enough. Okay, Komal, what are constraints?
Yes, sir. Constraints. Sir, like constraints are used to specify the conditions for the data in the table. Conditions, or we can say rules, like let's say if we have given few conditions, I want the data only for so and so particular duration, it will only push the data for so and so particular duration. So whatever rule we put upon the data is called as constraint.
Okay. Is it applicable to the table or is it applicable to a column?
So it is applicable to column.
Column. Okay.
Yes.
Can you name 1 or 2 constraints which are used a lot in a
Okay.
typical SQL environment on a table?
Like primary constraints are used. Then
What is it called? Primary?
uh, primary constraints or unique ones, not which
What
should
is it?
not be the null ones.
What is it called? Primary?
Primary constraints, primary key. It is called as primary key.
Primary key. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then
Then foreign keys.
okay. Fine. Keshav,
Yes, sir.
what is the difference between group by and order by?
Group by and order by. Order by is going to sort our data, and group by is suppose mm, we have a column where names are we have a column table with name, subject, and marks. So suppose the entries is Keshav, maths, English, SST, marks are 10, 20, 30. Then the other entry is Komal, maths, English, SST, 40, 50, 60, like this. So when we use a group by on the column name, it will do like it will put all those values with name Keshav and those in one part, and then it will give values of Komal and all the subjects in other. Like it will be like grouping the names in one section, like one part. Like all the entries of that Keshav will come in one part, then all the values of from Komal, those are going to come in the other part. And by that is by grouping. And the other thing by ordered by, we can put it in a sorted format, like ascending or descending.
So can we use group by and order by both in the same query?
Yes, sir. We can
Yes,
use
we
group by
can.
and order by. First, we can group it and then we can order
Then
it.
ordered it.
Yes, you can use.
Hmm.
Yes, we can use.
Okay, Komal. What is the difference between a left inner join and a right inner join? Sorry, left outer join and right. What am I saying? Right, left and right outer joins.
Sir, in left outer join, we can combine tables which includes non-similar rows as well.
Mhm.
And like left join will display the left column elements of a table, and right joint will display the right column elements of table, like without the nulls.
I lost it. Repeat.
Left outer join will like ideally join two tables based on the left columns, whether the row content is similar or not. And right outer joint will the rightmost columns of two tables can be displayed with matching values, whatever the matching values we have, or similar values.
Left or
And the values that don't match, what happens to them?
left outer join is going to be those columns which are not matching. They are if we draw a Venn diagram, then all the values which are not a part of that middle Venn diagram where the joins are happening, those are going to come in left outer join.
It will mean if we don't have similar values, those values won't be displayed in the output or in the table.
Yes.
But that is inner join.
No, inner join will be the values which is coming in that part. So left outer join is going to be the extreme left values which are not in part of any of the things.
So what will be the values of the records which are not matching? So inner join will match only the records
which are both common in both.
which are common.
Yes.
Left outer join will match the records on the
which are
left
not
side.
in A, which are not in A. Like
Okay,
we have
it will
to
match everything,
Hmm.
but it will also match, sorry, it will also display the records on the left hand side. But
Yeah.
what will be the value of the data from the right hand side table?
Blanks or it will be nulls.
Will be nulls.
Yeah.
Okay, for example, I have an employee who's not assigned a department. A very common example. Okay, so the department will be null, whereas the employee record will be shown. Okay, let's say you have joined a company today. So your status of department will be blank. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is an left outer join. Right outer join is the reverse, where data will be shown from the right table,
right table.
and everything on the left hand side will be displayed as nulls. Okay, one last, last question. Okay, Keshav. What is a view?
Sorry,
What is a view?
view. View is a collection. View is created with multiple tables, data from a multiple table.
And
Like it's a runtime value.
it is a runtime value.
Like means like we can use it. Mm, uh, like we like if we are having suppose we have 4-5 tables, we create a view containing a data with all those tables, and whenever we need it, whenever we need to fetch your data, we can directly fetch it from view. We don't have to hit the table every time.
Komal, what is a view?
Sir, views can show the table output. Let's say if you want to create a summarized table or summarized view of multiple tables, views are used in that case. If I want the combination of data from 2 to 3 tables, so views can be used in that case. And like views are created manually, and like then whenever we need the output or whenever we need to check the summarized data, we can simply execute it and get the data from the views.
Okay, good. Can I create an index on a view?
Index?
No.
We
No,
can
sir.
create an index on a table, isn't it? Clustered index,
Yes.
non-clustered. So can it be done on a view?
No, sir, it can't be done on views.
Okay, nice. Okay, that completes SQL. And hello, Manish. You have been patiently listening to the Viva. You are actually supposed to be out of this room, but that's okay. Okay,
Actually,
coming to Python. Okay, we'll start with Keshav. What is a set?
Set it is I know how to represent it, but the wordings I'm not missing. Like if set is like we have this union, intersection and union. These all are a part of sets.
What is a set? I don't want the properties of a set. Yeah, Komal.
So set is collection of data which is written in curly brackets. So sets can be, it is unindexed, unordered and unchangeable.
Unchangeable means?
So once you define a set, if you want to change the elements of that set, you have to first convert it into a list and then convert it back to a set after doing some certain changes what you want, or if you want to replace any values.
Okay. Okay. And what are the other properties you said? It is
It cannot be indexed.
okay.
Indexing cannot be possible,
Right.
and like it is unchangeable and unindexed. It is also unordered. Like if we print the set twice or thrice, you can see the changes in the orders. That can be
Okay.
happening.
There is one other property, a very important one about set. What is that?
Uh, Sets are they are put it they are default in ascending orders. No, descending.
No, it is not.
She just said it is an unordered collection.
Okay.
A set is unique. It's a
Yeah,
unique collection.
it's unique.
Okay, so you cannot have repetitions of
Duplicates are not. Yeah.
that's the most important part of the definition of a set. Okay. Right. Okay. Komal,
Yes, sir.
what do you mean by the term function overloading?
Function overloading. So like function overloading is using the function multiple times, or
Using same function with
Hold
for
on.
multiple times by I mean we can use same function multiple times, passing different values to the variables what we have defined in that particular function.
Good. So how do you ensure that you are getting different results when you are using the same function?
Sir, we print it differently, na? Or
See, let's say you have written a function called calculate something. Okay, calculate total, for example. So you are getting different values of the total based on something. So what is that something?
parameters.
Correct. The
parameters, yeah.
parameters. Okay. So that is the overloading part.
Overloading part.
So how do you define those overloading parameters?
So using user defined function.
That is a function definition, but how do you know that these values should be there or should not be there?
So when we define a function called add, like we have a function called add. So we'll pass, so there will be a parameter, which will be a user, which will be the input parameter. That is function one. When we are using that same parameter for add, then we will pass A, B, C. We'll include the parameters over there, increase the parameters.
So you have to define your parameters as defaulted parameters. So
defaulted
you define A equals B equals C equals and give a default value. So it means that I can call the function without any parameters or with the specific parameters.
Functions.
So accordingly, you will get different results in your function.
The parameters will be defining which functions with that name should be called.
Okay, Keshav, What are the different ways to read a file?
Read a file.
Hmm.
Read.csv. No.
Okay, read CSV file is one.
Excel text.
Okay. Have you used there's an OS level function that is used a lot when you want to
Yes,
read.
sir. Import OS dot, yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, so you can use that also.
Using pandas and using the OS
Not
function.
pandas, we can use the write or the read function where
Yeah,
you
right,
open a
okay.
file pointer in a read mode or a write mode or read write mode or whatever mode that you want to use. So that is much faster and more efficient. Okay, Komal.
Yes, sir.
What is the difference between a pandas and a series? Or I should say a
Pandas.
series versus a data frame. Not pandas, both are pandas actually. Difference between a series and the data frame.
Okay. So series can contain only one single list, whereas data frame can consist of multiple lists. Then
Can I alter the column name of a series?
no, sir, you can't. Whereas you can alter a column name of data frame, or you can also change the column name in data using data frame.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, Keshav, what is the use of the zip function?
To compact the data.
Can you elaborate that?
No, sir. I won't.
Komal, use
Sir,
of a
let's take an example. We have two tuples, like A is equal to 4 names and B is equal to another 4 names. So if we write zip operator on those two tuples, what ideally it will do is the first value from tuple A and second value from tuple A, it will show in one tuple. Then comma, the output will be second value from tuple 2, 1 and 2. Then similarly, third value from tuple 1 and 2. It will ideally perform a combination of the values from tuple 1 and tuple 2. The first item will be combined and put it into one particular tuple. Second item will be combined of each tuples and put it into second tuple.
Okay, fine. Okay, last set, Keshav. How do you merge data frames? Okay, I think Keshav got disconnected. Okay, Komal, how do you merge data frames?
Sir, using the merge operator, we can merge the data frame or concatenate as well. We can use numpy.concat or.
Okay, I don't want the syntax. Just tell me the general technique, how data frames can be merged.
Okay. Sir, if we have two data frames, so first data frame, the content of or the values of first data frame will be written on the top. Let's say if we have a matrix, it will be in a matrix format. Let's say A, B, C, D are the column, and 1, 2, 3, 4 are the rows. So whatever content of 1 and A, like those values will be coming under 1 and A, and likewise it will merge or append, we can say, the two particular data frames.
See, when you are merging the data, there are, see, merge is actually it's a very generic name. So when you are joining the data frames, there are different steps involved. One is I can join them by rows, I can join them by columns.
Yeah.
So when
By
I'm joining by rows, it means that the column should be the same. And if I'm joining them by columns, the rows
should
be the
be same.
Okay. And then accordingly, I can do whether it is concatenation or joining. But when I'm doing the merge, so merging has to be done based on a common element, a common key. Otherwise, merging won't happen. So these are the different ways of joining the data frames. Okay, so that completes it. I think Keshav got disconnected, but
Yes, sir, I guess so.
that's fine. Okay, thanks, Komal, for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, and see you tomorrow in the class.
Yes, sir. Shall
Hello,
I drop the
Manish.
call?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Tejas, Manish.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can we take a break for 5 minutes?
Okay, sir.
And then come back.
Yes.
Hello, Manish.
Yes, sir.
And Tejas?
Sir.
So we have the mocks today on 3 subjects: statistics, SQL, and Python. Okay. So we'll start with Manish. Manish, what is the difference between mu and sigma?
Mu and sigma. They have the symbolic difference and theoretical. I don't have an idea about it.
Okay. Tejas?
Hello, sir.
What is mu and sigma in
Mu is the average,
Hmm?
and sigma is standard deviation of the population.
Okay, of the population. Fine, good. Manish, when you are doing a data analysis, the main focus is on the quality of data.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so how do I ensure that my data is of superior quality? What should be the considerations?
Considerations could be like the repeating values or the nulls. Nulls could be checked, or the repeating values could be checked.
Okay.
Yeah, the main parameters is dependent on the data which we choose or which we pick out.
Okay, anything else?
We can also check the difference between that data could be categorical or numerical.
Okay. Anything to do with distribution? Is that important?
No, sir.
Okay. Tejas?
Yes, sir. Is important. The value, how many dispersion of the data from our mean, that can be checked in dispersion.
Okay. So apart from dispersion and apart from what Manish has said, anything else that we need to have?
In data, remove outlier and select the significant figure in our data. Check similarity.
Sorry, okay, fine. Okay, Manish.
Yes, sir.
What is the use of doing a hypothesis testing?
Hypothesis testing. To check whether the data has an outliers or any similarities into it.
Checking for outliers.
Yeah, or any similarities like repeating values or like that.
No, that is not the use of hypothesis testing, checking for outliers. Yes, sorry, Tejas.
Hypothesis
What is the
testing is
use
a
of
statistical
hypothesis testing?
hypothesis testing is a use of the statistical tool that can be research and data scientists to find out the certain problem in our data. There are many of tests, t-test, z-test, ANOVA test. In t-test, the parameter less than 30, and we check the difference between the two groups, mean of the two groups. And ANOVA is a check the significant difference between two or more feature.
Okay. Okay, good. Okay, Manish,
Yes, sir.
tell me something about data sampling. Why is sampling preferred? And what kind of sampling should ideally be used for data analysis?
Sampling techniques, right?
Yes.
I think so. One-way or two-way sampling is there.
Sorry, repeat.
I think so. One-way or two-way sampling is there.
So what are the different ways of sampling a data? What is the meaning of that one way and two way?
No, sir, I don't have any idea about that.
Yes, sorry, Tejas.
Sampling technique, the probability event can be occur or not at the basis of the random small of the amount of the sample can be taken. That the result can be that be event can be occur or not. That be can be implementation of our population.
Okay. Can you think of any sampling techniques that are
Random
frequently
forest
used?
random sampling, select the randomly feature, and cluster sampling.
Cluster sampling. Okay. Okay, fine. Okay, last question, Manish. What is the main difference between using mean and median?
Difference between the mean is like the mean is an average of the whole data, and the median is the middle point of the data or the graph, we can say.
So which is a better measure to use?
Better to use is we can use mean also. Mean likewise. Mean is better to use.
Okay. Okay, let me put it in another way. Which is a more stable measure, mean or median?
Stable measure is a mean, we can say, because we take the average of whole data or whole column, we can say parameter of a data.
Okay. Tejas, which is a stable measure, mean or median?
Median, sir. Suppose in Pune there are many locations. There are many houses prices vary. That time we consider on the median.
Sorry, I got.
Okay. In Pune, many area in the house price is very different. That can be selected in median.
Okay. Okay, fine. So why is it, why is mean not a stable measure?
Suppose if there is in an outlier in median, they can be shifted in shift. That can be the mean is shifted in center value. That is going to be mean not be selected.
Correct. Okay, fine. That's correct. Okay, good. Okay, let's go to the SQL part. Manish,
Yes, sir.
what is the meaning of the term DDL? What does it stand for? And
DDL stands for data definition language.
data definition. Okay. So when I say data definition, what are some of the things that I can include in data definition?
Like we can select whole of the data, like we have to display whole data. We select star from like to get the output of the whole data. We select a select function for it. That is, we are defining the data to it.
See, data definition is not defining the data.
Yeah.
Okay, it is defining the structure of the data.
Structure of the data, yeah.
Okay, so where the table, where the data will be stored, what is going to be the data type?
Yes.
Okay, how should the data be formatted? All these things are part of the data definition. Okay. Okay, Tejas. What is the difference between a table and a view?
Table is a store value in a record and a field, and a view is a virtual table on the virtual table on condition, and we apply.
Okay. Any other differences?
Table is only one table consider, and in virtual can be many other result can be combined, and they can be combined and be result shown in virtual table in view.
Okay, fine, correct. Okay, good. Manish.
Yes, sir.
What is a subquery?
Subquery is like nested query into what we write in a query. Like we have to select a particular table, and then we use the where clause. It is just a means the upper layer example for it. We select, we use the select query for selecting the whole data, and then we can use the where clause where we can apply our condition.
Okay.
It can be.
Is there any limit on how many subqueries I can have? For example, it cannot exceed more than 3 or 4 or 5. Is there any limit like this?
As of now, I think so. There is not a limit. I think so.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, fine. Tejas, what are constraints?
Constraint is a specific rule that can apply in our data. Suppose check the null value, null type, prime key, origin key. Prime key is a unique value in a
what key?
Prime key.
Prime key. What is prime key?
Primary key.
Primary key, sorry. Primary key, origin key, and unique key. Primary key, there is unique value in a table, in a row, in a table. Unique is the no any duplicate value in a table. Origin key is a relationship between the between the two tables.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. Manish,
Yes, sir.
how do you check for blank values using a query?
We can check for the whole data by using where clause, where the data can be null, or where we select the column name.
Okay. So one is using the
Where
null
clause,
or the
yes,
is null.
is null.
Okay. But what if when the column does not have null values, but the values are still missing?
Is it blank value, right? We have.
Yeah, it is a blank value, but it is not a null value. There's a difference between blanks and nulls. So one is I can use is null. This is fine.
Okay.
But what if my data contains spaces like this? This is also blank value, but this is not a null value.
Yes, sir.
So how do you check for these kind of discrepancies where a value should be there, but it is missing?
We can use joins for it.
Join.
Yeah, for the
How
two
joins
separate
will
tables.
help?
But it has a values, but the cell is null, right? It has a value, but the cell is blank.
Tejas?
Like comment there is used, and after they can use a code, and we check the where value is present in our table or not.
Sorry, using the like operator and
like operator, and after the you can be check which of the element is not present in, can be specified in the code, and after can be module check the data is table or not.
okay, like operator. Okay, anything else that we can use apart from is null or is not null? We can check for the length of the string.
Okay.
Okay, after we remove the spaces, we can check for the length and check whether it is more than 0 or not. Okay,
Yeah.
that would be a very simple check to do. Okay, Manish.
Yes.
Can you tell me what are some of the frequently used string functions in SQL?
String functions. String functions kind of. I didn't get. So.
String functions. Let's say that I have a text. Okay, I have the word called Manish. I have a word called Tejas. So what are some of the string functions that I can use that I can process a column called name or description or anything? Okay, let me give you a simple example. So let's say that I have a column called first name.
Okay.
Okay, so I have the following names. I have my name, I have your name, then I have this name, and then I have okay, I have all these different names.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I want to use some string functions so that I can extract, let's say, 3 characters out of the first name. So what are some of the frequently used string functions?
Like we can use the percentage operator or the underscore to like extract the names or the strings from the column. Like it
But the
is.
percentage is not a function name, isn't it? This is an operator.
Yeah, it is an operator.
This is an operator. I want a function, a string function.
Mhm.
Tejas,
Varchar, the fix the length of the string.
varchar is a data type.
Okay. So repeat again the question.
String functions that I can use to retrieve information. So if this is my data, I want to use some string functions to manipulate my data.
Insert and update. Update.
Is that a string function?
No, no.
That
No,
is a
not a
data
string
manipulation function. Insert into it will
We
add
can
data.
use like operator and operator.
Those are operators. That is
Operators,
fine.
yeah.
Operator is different. But what about the function? See, I can use functions like uppercase, lowercase, okay, substring, then left function, right function, okay, string comparison. These are string functions. So what is uppercase?
Yeah.
What is it going to do? Convert the string
It-
into
Uppercases.
uppercase. Lowercase will convert it into lowercase.
Lower
Substring
cases,
will
yeah.
extract a portion of the data.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are some of the frequently used string functions in SQL. Okay, one last question. What is the use of the union operator?
The union operator will combine if two selective tables we have chosen, then it will combine those two tables. Like it will merge these two tables.
It will merge two tables. Will it merge tables or will it merge rows? Because for joining the tables, I can use the join operator.
Join operator.
That is
Yeah,
the
yeah.
where clause.
Yeah,
A
it
dot
will-
table name equals B dot table name. But what does union do?
Union will join the rows of the two separate tables, excluding the null values.
Excluding-
Union all will join including the null values or the blanks. we can say.
Nulls or duplicates?
Union all will, I think so. It will join with nulls. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Okay, Tejas, last question.
Okay, sir.
What is the meaning of star in SQL?
Star. Select. Select the all column
Select all
columns.
columns.
Yes.
Okay. So is there any other way that I can select all the columns without specifying the star?
No, sir. No idea, sir.
I have, let's say,
We can
one second.
yeah.
So let us say I have 3 columns, first name, last name, and age. Okay, so I can do select star from table. Okay, so this will give me first name, last name, and age. Now, is there any other way that I can retrieve all the column names?
We can use function,
Use function.
table name.
Use.
Yeah.
Use
Index.
T. What is the purpose of this? You can use a database, not a table.
Yeah, database.
You can actually type in the actual column names. Select F name, L name, age from T. So instead of a star, if I specify all the column names, this will give me all the columns, the output. Okay. All right. That completes Python, sorry, SQL. So now we'll go to the Python part. Tejas,
Yes, sir.
what is the meaning of function overloading?
Function is a block code. They can be execute the command.
No, not function. What is the meaning of function overload?
No idea.
Manish, what is function overloading?
Mm, we can insert the values or the parameters into the function, or just like we can update those. I think so, but I'm not sure about it.
The same name of the function that can be function is overloading, sir.
Sorry, what is it? Tejas?
Same name of the function.
Hmm?
That is the overloading of the function.
Same
Or-
name.
Yes.
What is the meaning of that same name?
Suppose DEF and under the namespace is provided. Suppose the function name and another function name is similar. That time we overload the function.
But can you have the 2 functions with the same name in Python?
No.
So it will get overwritten, isn't it? So,
Yes.
So what is that overloading here? So overloading is the behavior of the function when different parameters are passed. Okay, same function can return different values or behave in a different way depending upon the input. Okay. Okay, Manish.
Yes.
What is the difference between a tuple and a list?
Tuples are immutable, and list can be defined in characters or strings. And those are mutable, that can be changed. List can be indexed, and tuples cannot be.
List can be indexed. What is the meaning of that?
Indexing to the lists, like
Okay, Tejas. List, difference between list and tuple.
List is mutable,
Hmm.
and a tuple is not mutable.
Okay.
There will not be changeable. Tuple can be allow duplicate, and this also allow duplicate.
But that is a similarity, not a difference. Okay, okay, fine. Tejas, what do you mean by the term packing and unpacking?
Packing means converting data into another original to another form is a packing.
So if I say packing a tuple, what does it mean?
पैकिंग में कन्वर्जन होता है पैकिंग में अब डाटा टाइप का और अनपैकिंग में जो ओरिजिनल फॉर्म होता है वो कन्वर्ट नहीं होता है. This is tuple unpacking.
Manish, packing, if I say packing and unpacking a tuple, what do you mean by this?
Packing of a tuple we can use is, for example, if we take an example of a stored procedure, we can execute that.
We are talking of Python, not.
Yeah, Python.
Okay.
Yeah, we can use that packing if we have defined a name for it. Then we can use it afterwards also. And unpacking, we can use the specific elements from the tuples.
See, packing means, if I say packing a tuple, it means you are creating a tuple. Okay.
Yeah.
The other name is called packing. Okay. Unpacking a tuple means if I have a tuple which has 5 values. Okay. For
Yes.
example, I have, let's say, let me share my screen. Okay. So if I have a tuple like this, where the first value is some code, then it has some name.
Yeah.
Okay. Then it has a price. Okay. So when you create this is called packing.
Yeah.
Unpacking means when I want to extract the individual values.
Yeah.
Okay. So for example, if I give item code, item name, price equals the tuple, let's say it is T1. So the value of 100 will be stored in code, phone will be stored in name, and 24,000 will be stored in price.
Price.
Okay, so this is called unpacking. So it is basically assigning the values of a tuple into variables.
Variables.
Clear, eh, Tejas?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, just 2 more questions. Manish?
Yes.
What is NumPy?
NumPy is a library in Python.
For what?
Specific use, so I don't know of it.
Okay. Last question, Manish.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes. sorry, Tejas?
Yes, sir.
Am I audible, sir?
What is NumPy?
NumPy is a library that can be used the array. In NumPy, the function is linear algebra and linear algebra function, and other algorithm function can be used. NumPy is faster. NumPy used because of the this is 50 times faster than the list. That can be used the NumPy.
Okay. 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 Last question, Manish. Can you give me some examples of randomness in Python? How do we create random numbers?
Random numbers. We can simply use the random for it in a particular variable.
Okay. Is there any, are there any special, or I should say, should I consider anything before generating random numbers?
np dot random dot random.
Hold on, Tejas, a second.
No, sir, I don't know about it.
Yeah, Tejas, tell me.
np dot in numeric Python you use dot random dot random.
No, I don't want the syntax.
Okay.
Question is, if I want to generate random numbers in Python, should I consider anything before generating them?
We can like consider the range. If we,
Very good. We can consider the range. Then
we can set the upper limit or the lower limit.
that is the range. Okay.
Yeah.
Use a for loop.
Sorry.
Use a for loop.
For loop. Okay, that depends on the which library you're using.
Okay.
Anything else? One other important factor. You want to consider whether you want repeating values or unique values. Okay, with repetition and without repetition.
Yes.
Okay, so that completes your Viva. Thanks, Manish, Tejas.
Okay, sir.
A lot of things need to be brushed up for you. Okay, so do the practice.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. So see you tomorrow then. Yeah, bye. Hello, Yash.
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. So you can turn on your camera and just 5 minutes break. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Hello, Yash.
Hello, sir.
Okay, so you are aware of today's mock, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So we'll quickly wrap up the mocks part. So we'll start with, there are three subjects, statistics, SQL and Python. Okay.
Yes, yes.
So let's start with the stats part. What is the difference between raw data and processed data?
Sir, raw data is the data which we get from either from a survey, or for example, a survey or any website we launch to receive the data from the customers. And the process data is the data which upon apply processes upon the raw data. So we remove any kind of null values, any kind of empty value, not empty values, outliers, so that the data won't shift towards the outlier.
Okay. Okay, fine. Any other process that we can do?
Process, I mean, the first one is like null, second is outliers, a third can be
Data format, anything?
yes, sir, we can arrange the data in a format. Suppose we want to take a date as a format, so we can format in proper year, month, and date.
Okay.
And yeah, that's
Okay, fair enough. What do you mean by the term bias and variance?
Biased is the, suppose there is a graph, and the graph median, the graph peak is at a far end. Suppose the x-axis, we plot x-axis, and the way the peak of the slope, the graph is at the far end. It is biased towards right. I will say the data is biased towards right. Means it is having high bias to a certain a certain data set. Like if I have numbers from 1 to 100, and I have the data spawning from 70 to 90 most of the time, so I'll say the data is biased towards that bracket range. And variance is how my data varies from variance also variance is the how much is the data spread in on a axis, from the higher limit to the lower limit. We can calculate the variance.
Okay. Okay, fine. What is the relation between these two, bias and variance?
Sir, I think low variance means high bias data.
Right. So they are inversely proportional to each other.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, good. What is the meaning of the term estimation?
Sir, estimation is can be said as the prediction or future prediction, or yes, sir, future prediction. That is, we estimate a certain output of a data.
Okay. Okay, fine. Do you know what are the two types of estimation?
No, sir.
Point estimation and range estimation.
Okay.
Okay. What is the difference between, or not difference? What do you mean by the term odds?
Odds. Odds can be said as the probability of an event happening. For example, if I want to give an example, I can say in cricket we predict the odds of a ball being bowled, no ball. What are the odds of a ball being no ball? That is the probability of a ball being no balled in six in over.
So how is odds different from probability?
Odds are the chances, and probability is a fixed outcome. So I can define those.
See, probability is outcome divided by sample space.
Yes.
Okay, so you always have a value between 0 and 1.
Okay.
Whereas an odds is the probability of the event happening divided by probability of the event not happening.
Okay, sir.
So the value can be more than 1 also.
Okay, sir.
So higher the probability means higher the odds.
Odds.
So it's a direct relation. Okay, one last question. What is Bayes theorem?
I can't remember that.
Bayes theorem is part of something called as posterior probability. Okay, what is the probability of an event B given that A has already occurred?
Okay.
Okay, that is known as the Bayes theorem or the posterior probability theorem. You also have an algorithm based on that in machine learning, Bayes theorem. It is called Naive-Bayes.
Naive.
Okay, let's go to the SQL part. What is the use of, what does union do?
Sir, union is a mixed union is an operator in which we combine the rows of two data sets, in which we combine the rows of two data sets, excluding the common multiple appearing values.
Okay. So is it from the same table or is it different tables?
No, sir. We can use we use two different sets to combine a union operation.
So can the columns be different?
Yes, sir. Columns can be different. For columns, we have join operation.
So if I'm doing a union operation and I'm selecting column ABC in the first query, and I'm selecting column XYZ in the second query, will it work?
Yes, sir.
So what will be the outcome?
ABC XYZ will be the outcome of the union.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is the meaning of data control language?
Sir, data control language is that we control the type of data we accept, or we type of constraint we apply on the data. There are, I think, we control the type of data we add into our data set.
That is called constraints, but it is not data control language.
Sir, we have two types of parameters. I think data control language, like first is grant, second is revoke.
So what do these functions do?
Sir, grant, we grant the certain column some rights, like we grant admin the administrator rights, and we with revoke function we revoke the administrator rights.
So it is actually the privileges that is given to a
yes.
user. Okay,
Yes,
it has
sir.
nothing to do with the data call as such. Okay, it is how you can access the different objects, whether you can read or whether you can write. So that is done by the DCL. Okay. Can you name a couple of aggregate functions?
Order by and group by. No, sorry. Aggregate function, average, mean, max.
Okay. So how do you use the aggregate functions?
Sir,
Mainly it is used with which command in SQL?
Sir, it is used with order, I think, order by clause.
It can be used, it is mainly used with a group by.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, when you are grouping a certain category or set of categories and you want to aggregate that particular category. Okay, for example, gender wise total, city wise total.
Yes, sir.
Okay, or class wise average. Okay, or country wise count or continent wise count. Okay, that is where you use the aggregate functions. Okay. What is the difference between a primary key and a composite key?
Sir, primary key is a key which we define in a on a table. The primary key can only be defined once in the entire table. There can be no null values, and every data in the primary key should be unique. Whereas composite key is a type of a unique key, but it can have it can have a null value, and it sorry, I don't remember.
So composite keys are keys that you create on other columns.
Okay.
Okay, first name, last name, first name, middle name, first name, middle name, last name. So you can have different combinations.
Okay.
That is called composite key with more than one column. Okay. What is the meaning of the limit keyword?
Sir, suppose I have a data set of like thousands of records, but you ask me to print only 3 records, first 3. So I'll select star from the data set and limit 3. So it will give me the first 3 records of the data set.
Okay. Is there any other use of the limit keyword? What you said is right, but apart from that.
Sir, I can. So no, I don't remember actually. I'm not sure about that, but I think we can access the data from last by using negative index.
Yes, so there is something called as, so limit, if I say limit 10, it will going to give me the first 10 records.
Yes, sir.
But if I give limit 9,1.
Sir, it will limit the records to 9 rows and first column.
No, limit 9,1 means you from the don't display anything till the first 9, display the
Okay.
10th record. So this is actually going to print the 10th record.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so this is useful when you want to display records like what is the 6th largest value. Okay, so you sort it in the descending order or ascending order, whatever may be the case. And when you give limit 5,1, this is going to give you the only the 6th value.
6th value. All right, sir.
Okay, so that wraps up the SQL part. So we'll quickly come to the Python part. Have you used regular expressions?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, if you have to clean a data which is of a string data type,
Yes, sir.
and you have to use Python for doing that, how will you do it?
Sir, clean as you mean?
Clean as in removing spaces or removing special characters.
Sir, we can first of all convert the data into some type of case that can be upper or lower, and later on we can go through the run a for loop on the string list, and we can match the special characters, and if they are present we can fill them with spaces.
Okay. Have you used something called as apply functions?
No, sir.
No. Okay. Okay, fine. What is the difference between a function and a lambda function?
Sir, the function in which function is a regular function which we define with a name, whereas lambda function is an anonymous function. It doesn't have a name, but it performs all the operations done by like a function. For example, a function is defined as def and the function name, whereas lambda is defined as lambda keyword, then the variable and the operation to be performed in that function.
Okay. So when I'm using a lambda function, it supports two main things. What are they? I can use it for two main things, especially on an iterable object. What are they? One is it supports iteration. That's why I gave the term iterable object. So if I'm giving a list, it can iterate over a list.
Okay.
Okay, so you don't have to write a for loop. The other thing is it can filter the data from that iterable list.
Okay, sir.
So if you have a list of, let's say, 100 numbers and you want to add, let's say, 5% to each and every number.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that is the iteration part.
Oh, got it.
But when you want to filter the data, let's say, get me all the numbers which are greater than 80. So I can use the lambda function to do the filter.
Okay, sir. Got it.
Can you write your own libraries and import them in Python?
Yes, sir. We can write them our own libraries. We can import them as packages.
How?
Sir, import. We first of all write the library, then we declare export the library with the export keyword, I think, and we import them as packages, like import the library name.
Okay. So when you are importing it, as a name, let's say Yash library. So what is that file actually? I mean, what is that library actually?
Sir, that is a function. It is a function itself.
Is that a function or is that the Python file name?
A Python file name, sir.
Mhm. That's the Python file name. Inside that you have all your functions.
Functions, yes.
Okay. What is a function overload?
Sir, function overloading is a process in which we have two same types of function in a class where the function name is same, but the parameters are different.
Okay. In a same class
Yes, sir.
or in two different classes?
No, sir, same class.
Can you define the same function name twice in a class?
Sir, sorry, sir. Sorry, we define two function overloading is done in two different classes with same function name and different parameters, but a function overloading requires inheritance so that it happens between two different classes.
Why inheritance is required here?
Sir, otherwise those two will be the distinct function and there won't be any kind of overloading.
Why not?
Sir, if I have class A and class B and I define a function like function A1 in A and function A1 in B also, those will be two distinct functions. Class won't relate to each other in any kind. So I need to perform inheritance so that it can take the attributes of the parent class.
Okay, that's what you meant. Okay, okay. Okay. Okay, last one and then we are done. What is a data frame?
Sir, data frame is a type of data frame is a type of array. It is a two-dimensional, I think multi-dimensional array in which we can store the data in a list, type of list. Yes.
Okay. So what are the properties of a data frame?
Properties, sir, in data frame we can name the column. We can the columns are indexed, so we can access the particular index data.
Correct.
Sir, I remember this too.
Okay, and it is also heterogeneous.
Okay.
It supports multiple data types.
Yes, sir. Right. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, good. Okay, that's it. Yash, thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
So see you tomorrow in the class.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Bye, sir.
Okay, bye-bye.